Hello, thanks for clicking on my video. If you like the content I produce, please subscribe. That really helps me out. And let's go with today's topic. I covered something like this in a different video, but I think this one is more to the point. I wanted to talk to you about the AI stack. AI for beginners can be really confusing because there's so many terms, so many things, so many layers. What's happening? It's not clear for anybody who's new or even somebody who's trying to learn this because there's so many complexities, right? So I wanted to talk about the stack because any topic that we talk about AI fits into a layer of the stack. When you understand that, whenever there's new topic that comes your way or somebody presenting something, even if I'm presenting something, it has to fit in one of those stacks. Then it makes a little bit more sense to you. And in your career, in your job, you might then um, you might then um, figure out um, where your work is fitting in this stack, right? Because all these new jobs and job modifications and additions to job responsibilities, they're happening in one of these layers. So I wanted to just give you those and then give you examples of those. So the first layer, the bottommost layer is data, right? Data is anything that a model is going to consume to make predictions. So a simple example would be a CSV file. In a real world, you might have a CSV file with a million rows and columns and whatnot, right? Sometimes the columns are called features. Anyway, it's just data, a data of many kinds. It could be images, it could be whatever, sales data, whatever. It's just data. Um, and the managing data itself can be sometimes a job. Data analysts do that all day, right? Second layer on top of that is the algorithms. These are machine learning algorithms that real smart people make, right? Typically, PhDs in computer science who are coming up with different algorithms to tackle a particular AI problem. For example, the K nearest neighbor algorithm. That's an algorithm that's used to figure out where a new data set belongs in the different clusters that you might say. Or sometimes, for example, if you have a bunch of data about a patient, whether you want to see if you want to predict if this patient has cancer or not, that's clustering, right? That's classification. KNN is one way of doing that. May not be the best, but anyway, that's algorithms. These are algorithms that people come up with. For example, a famous one is attention. It's really more of a part of algorithm that a bunch of scientists came up with in 2017. Eventually, that led to what we have today as Chad GPT. Third layer, Python code. It can be part of all the layers, but at any rate, you would write Python code to make models, right? Or I'll do other things in machine learning. On top of that, you have the actual models themselves. If you go to HuggingFace.co, you will see there are 352,000 as of today, open source / free models. Models are actual, you can think of them as software robots that do a certain task, right? So models live on top of the code. Now, with models, I put API on top of that, but really they're kind of together. A model can have an API interface. So sometimes when you're working, you're a developer or what have you, you don't want to use the full model, or you just want to call the model in the background, uh, the user of your product doesn't know it that you're using it, but you're using the API calls to the model to have a better product. On top of all of these, you have a model. Oh, I forgot something. Under for Python code, I mean, it could be any examples, but for example, when I do my stuff in Python code, I use it on a platform called Colab. It's free from Google, web-based. So anyway, that's an example of how we can use Python for that. For models, there are many models, but a famous one is Llama 2. Facebook / Meta came up with Llama 2 after seeing Chat GPT's rise. They're trying to compete with Chat GPT with this particular model, Llama 2. Supposedly, I think they used 13 billion data points or something like that to produce that model. They spend literally millions of GPU hours to make that happen. So those are models. API, for example, Hugging Face. If you go to Hugging Face, you choose a model. A lot of them have a built-in interface to call their API, so you can use the models that you're talking about, right? So the point of the API is As a developer, you might call the API to make your product better. On top of all of these, you or other teams could be making actual applications. Could be an autonomous car, or could be a vacuum cleaner for home, or something that predicts disease on what have you, right? Those are actual applications slash product that is using AI in a big way to make that product happen. Of course, the best example in the world is Chad GPT. It's a product. It's an application that is using AI to give you answer to your questions. It's one type of application slash product that you use in the AI stacks. Anyway, to summarize, the AI universe is so full of terms and concepts. If you can figure out which layer a particular term or concept belongs to, it helps to understand what's happening. You get the full context. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like and subscribe and leave a comment as to what you want me to cover next. And I will see you next time.